New toys have been acquired. Toys, tools, whatever you want to call them. So I've been thinking about changing my cameras for a little while now. Let's cut to just a little clip of like going to the shop in the car. Just a little skip with the wife now. So it is new camera day. My wife is in the car and she's very thrilled that I'm doing a video about this. Especially as, oh, it's very bright. Especially as she doesn't want to be on the video in it, maybe except for the voice? No? Okay. She's staring at me. Oh dear. So So we'll see whether I'm in trouble or not. No, I'm not in trouble. Okay, she's shaking her head. So you don't want to be a husband and wife YouTube partnership, like, no? Okay, that's out there. My original plan and why I set this up was I was going to get the wife to quiz me on why I was getting the camera, but she's not interested. Usually what I do is...
The reason he's getting a camera is because he wants a new camera, that's it.
Okay, right, she's been reading my Reddit posts. I don't know if you heard that. Usually what I do when I want to get a new technology purchase is I use my wife here as a sounding board as to the reasons why I want it, and it's more to convince myself than anything, not to convince her.
Or I get an offer of some new technology that he wants to gift to me as an excuse for him to buy a new one.
Yeah, so I don't know if you even heard that, but yeah, I use re-gifting my old tech as an excuse to buy new things. So I might cut this skit short, as the camera angle is not particularly flattering. The lighting is particularly dreadful. The sound looks like it's absolutely dreadful as well. And the wife is, although she's quite chatty for someone who doesn't want to be on the video, I think she's more than happy to chip in when it's making fun of me. So, okay, yeah, there's a big nod from that. So I think what we'll do is we'll call this here, and maybe I'll take a little bit of footage of the cat. I can't bother. I don't think I should do that. This is a tiny YouTube channel. It's a little too cringe. The quiet British polite way of doing things doesn't mesh very well with walking into camera shops and sticking Pocket 3s in their faces. So we'll speak blah blah blah, whatever. Yeah, so what I was hoping with the car would be that the missus would ask me questions about why I'm upgrading or anything like that. She wasn't game. She was not game. She didn't want to play that game at all. She's not interested really in the camera side of things or anything. So I'll have to ask questions I was hoping she would ask me instead. So, I'm recording now this footage on my Nikon Z6, and I've had that since 2019. I think 2019, could have been 2018. It's been a while. It's like 7 years, and it's done well. I'll see if I can find the shutter count and I'll put it on the screen. I've used it enough. I'm not a professional. It's a bit of a passion or a hobby, depending on what you want to call it. But I've got my use out of it, and there are some frustrations with it, at least for shooting images. If you're going to get into shooting pictures of birds or sport or anything like that, autofocus has come a long way in the past 6 years, especially on Nikon. I mean, if you're a Sony shooter, I'm sure you've had excellent autofocus all the time. That's great for you. But if you're on the original Z system, when they first released the mirrorless stuff, it had its problems. The Z6 II apparently didn't go far enough into fixing it, so I always stuck with the original. And even when the Z6 III released, it was expensive. It was very expensive. I'm not saying it isn't now, but right now it's the winter sale and there's like £750 off the camera. So that's to get you thinking about upgrading, and hey, here's a big discount. Why don't you buy a new camera? So yeah, I've had the Z6 for a while. One of the main pain points for me is the autofocus is quite dumb, and the eye detection is also quite dumb. There is a real... Some of the problem is, here, me, I'm the problem. Occasionally work will ask me to do some shoots when an executive comes in, and I don't get paid for it, which is a shame. So they save a lot of money, and I get to play with the camera in the office. But the last time that one of the big guys came down, I actually forgot to take the camera out of animal mode. So I was like, why isn't it finding any eyes? It's because it's expecting animal eyes. Whereas these newer cameras, you've got like auto subject detection, which, you know, you don't have to then know. That's why I mean, some of the problems me. Obviously, you know, I'm going from a 24 megapixel to a 24 megapixel body. We all know megapixels aren't everything. The main thing is to have something that is more reliable, has a few more features to it, and the main thing is autofocus and getting more into sort of taking pictures of birds and stuff. Now, right now I'm not going to get it out because it's in a box, but the main lens I have for taking pictures of birds anyway is currently a mirror lens, which is manual focus. So it gives me an excuse now to buy a bird, a wildlife, bird photography focused lens. So before we get the camera out, the other thing I got as well in the sale was the FTZ II adapter. So I do have, so I already have, as any Z mount shooter should have, is the original FTZ adapter. And I've currently got it on this macro lens here, and you can see at the bottom, maybe hold it in front of my face, there's a big nubbin. Can I get it to show that? Yeah, focus on the thing, yeah. There's a big tripod foot on the bottom. And that, now, the main reason I decided to get another adapter, I'm sure if we open it up and have a look, it's not exactly a special piece of kit, but as you can see, there is no tripod foot on the bottom of it. I know one of the reasons for this is mainly for the Z9, but actually when I have the Z6 on a tripod and I was trying to do macro video, this was actually getting in the way of me sort of manipulating and changing the lenses. I know it was because I was trying to do multiple things. I was trying to just do a shot of coffee and stuff, and I was swapping between, and I actually messed up and I put my thumb on the sensor of this camera. It cleaned off perfectly fine, thankfully. So I figured, you know, I've got multiple f-mount lenses anyway, so I've got this one, which I'll probably put on the, I'll put this, that, it will live permanently on this lens here. It's got the tripod foot anyway, so this, it's not going to interfere with it in any way, shape or form, so the 70-200 will permanently have the original FTZ, and the new one will go on the macro lens. Or, you know, I'll just use this for other glass. I might buy more f-mount glass anyway at some point, if I maybe want a 35mm. Or maybe, for example, I might look at getting a different... Right now, I'm shooting on the 24-70 here because I need a bit of a wider field of view. Usually on this, I'm going to have this 50. So I might buy some f-mount glass anyway for this in here, and so I'll need an adapter for that. So it's good to have multiple. I quite like buying things in a physical store as well. I didn't order this online. I went into Chester. I went to the Wilkinson's camera shop there. I've previously bought, in fact the 70-200 came from Wilkinson's. Now, ironically, this comes with the old flippy twisty-turny screen, which I would actually ironically need for the video camera here. What I'm aiming to do eventually... So when I got the Z6, so let's focus up for a second. So here we go, Z6 III. Actually, the light source is here, so I probably need to. There we go. Yes, yeah, so Z6 III. It looks like the original. Looks like the batteries for the Z6 and Z6 III are interchangeable. Oh. Okay, so even when I partially obscured in the face there, I can. Yeah, it's picking up the eye immediately, which, okay, right, yeah. We got this. So this is the first lens I got with the Z system back in 2018-19 when I got the Z6, which is recording this. And when I got the Z6 and the 50-1.8, I think it was on an offer, and I got it for about £1,600, £1,600. and I traded in pretty much a D750 and a few lenses, and I got it for, and part of me regrets that. It would be nice to still have the D750, but I didn't have the cash. The only way I was getting into the Z system was trading it in. This time around, this cost $1,749 on the winter sale, and I didn't trade in the Z6 this time because I want to keep it as a camera to use for recording these videos. Okay, that camera's charging now. So why did I make this purchase? As I said, there's a few reasons. I'll try and summarize up. I might have to cut out what I was saying before, try and be a bit more. So right now I'm recording this on my original Z6, and I was trying to figure out, do I want to continue? Now, I've been thinking about upgrading my camera for a while. Now, I was originally thinking, do I try and save up a bit more and buy a Z8? Now, that would be, if I had more funds or unlimited funds, I would have got the Z8. I would use the Z8 for, and I'd do a bit more landscape. I would have to be a bit more careful because the more megapixels you've got, the more your lack of technical ability is shown in your images. But I was really thinking about that. Now it is a bigger camera. But do I need a Z8? I'd like one, but I don't need one. And then I was thinking about, okay, I'm trying to set this space up a bit better. I've been moving around the house trying different rooms, and I think if I want to try and get better quality video, I think I need to stabilize what I'm doing, and maybe I'll have this space here, probably not with the lens that I'm using now, but with my original Z6, and I could set it up and get everything in place with different lights and stuff, and not have to worry about resetting things up or taking the camera off and changing settings and stuff. So one option was to get a Z52 and have that as the video camera, but I've been convinced by people on Reddit that actually the Z6 is perfectly fine, and it's just a skill issue really if I can't get it to work for me. So I'm colorblind and bad at color, so it gives me an option to try and get good looking colour out of it. Eventually it gives me plenty of new technical skills to try and master. I have an old video style tripod which I can just leave set up in this room. I've got a new light here which isn't in the frame, but oh god. It's a new bigger light that's going to get in the way and annoy me regularly. And I've got some of my older type lights here, just as little side lights, hair light, rim lights, whatever you want to call it. And actually here, you can't see it, but this is one of my old computer monitors, and I'm using it to make sure that I'm staying in focus. The problem is when I look down, there I am. Anyway, I'm getting off topic. So the reason for getting the Z6 III is I want much better autofocus for when I'm taking pictures. And when I go away somewhere, I can use that as the video camera, or I can take this one, whatever. There's plenty of good options in the Z6 III, but it's primarily the autofocus, the bird focus. The original Z6 just doesn't have it, and I've noticed it a lot more the more I've tried to actually start taking pictures of birds. Now I'm wondering whether the focus peaking is going to be more accurate in the Z6 III. As with this mirror lens here, the Z6 said that I was in focus. I wasn't in focus. I'd missed focus by quite a bit. So I'm wondering if on the new processor, with the new algorithms or whatever it is to detect the autofocus, we'll see. That's something I can test. Well, I'll know straight away if my pictures start coming out that they've actually captured what the focus peaking said was in focus, then we'll know. So I guess in the comments, if you've got this far in the video, what would you have done? Are you on the Z system? Have you stuck with the original Z6 up till now? It's managed for me. I've certainly managed with it, and you can manage with these. One of the things I used to do a lot with this was I remapped the 3D tracking to one of the function buttons on the front. So if it wasn't performing as I expected, I would get the 3D tracking box out, and then I would move the center of the frame to where I wanted the focal point to be, press the AF on, and then drag my shot to the frame I wanted it to be. So you did miss shots that way, but it was, you know, you can use some technical ability to make up for the lack of automatic eye detect. So you stayed on the original Z6. Now, did you upgrade? Did you go straight to the Z6 III or the Z8? Did I make a mistake by not saving up an additional... I think it would have been an additional like £700 thereabouts to get the Z8. I don't think I've necessarily made a mistake. I think it would have been nice to have it, but I can live without it. So I'm going to now sort of spend some time with the camera. It's still cold, wet and miserable outside. I've got a trip planned in Scotland later this year. So I'll be taking this camera up there. I'm going to be going all the way as far north as you can go. So I might get some sea stacks and some other stuff. There's not going to be a lot of mountains where I'm going. I'm going to drive through the mountains. But I'm hoping to get out into the Welsh countryside at some point soon when things get a little bit more firm underfoot. The dog has a habit of dragging me down hills, and while it's completely wet and sodden and muddy, I'd rather not end up falling over and damaging things. Or I'd rather not have the dog sort of drag me down on my arse down a hill just yet. So yeah, I guess, you know, I have not used the camera yet, so I can't say whether I'm happy or not with it, but I've been thinking about doing this for the best part of a year, I think, and out of all the options available to me, which was maybe get a Z52 and use that as this video camera, I think this is probably the most economical setup, because if I'd have bought the Z52, I probably would have been happy with the video quality, and then maybe then I'd be getting the Z6 III anyway, and then trading the Z6 in, because why would I trade the Z52 in? So I'm hoping this will end up being the best of all worlds. But yeah, thanks for watching. I think if anything, the only waste of money might have been getting another FTZ adapter. But you know, it's not like it's going to go off or anything. I'll have this. I'm going to be in a Z mount for a couple of decades at least now, right? So I'm going to make use of it. But the only thing with any sort of mild regret of the purchase today would be that adapter. The Z6 III, I'm very excited about. As I said, it would have been nice to have like the flippy screen on the video camera that I'm using, but I'll deal with having, as I said, as a monitor here. And the guys on Reddit, there's a guy called Beatboxer who is everywhere if you look into video on Nikon systems. He seems to know everything. He mentions I should get an external video recorder, so I'm figuring it out. I'm figuring things out. I'm just hoping this isn't overexposed, because I'm looking in the monitor and it's looking quite bright. So we'll see how it comes out. I'm just rabbiting on at this point. Well, thanks again for watching. More Z6 III content probably coming at some point if I can find something useful and transformative. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.